Hey guys, Jay here, welcome to EonsOfBattle, and today I'd like to show you how to magnetize a Space Marine Predator tank. The first thing I did was I built the top turret gun, and then I glued 2 small bolts to the inside. I then took 2 small magnets and I glued them onto either side of the gun. Now when you're building this Predator kit, usually there are 2 small dowels protruding from either side of the gun, which allow the gun barrel to rotate up and down. But to do this, you're going to want to chop that off and then glue on the 2 small magnets where you see there. Now the reason I didn't use 4 magnets and just glue the other 2 magnets to the inside of the tank is there wasn't really room, and I like to use 1 magnet and then 1 metal object so that I don't have to worry about polarity. Now here is the side sponson magnetized. What I did here is I used a bolt and a nut and 1 small magnet. And I replaced the GW dowel that runs through the hole at the top of the sponson. So here's how I did it. I threaded the hole in the side sponson, and then I put on the nut. I tightened it up. Now the reason I did this as opposed to just using another magnet is I don't like to use a lot of magnets. You have to use them very sparingly, and I thought that the nut and bolt looked very mechanical and they didn't look out of place. I then took a small metal sharpener and I ran it back and forth because when the bolt is cut it'll probably be unclean, and so you want to smooth this up just to give the magnet a little bit easier time clicking onto it. And then on the Games Workshop model there is a little gun eye that sits on top of the sponson, and you can just go ahead and either leave that off or glue it down to the top of the bolt. I then took 2 small pieces of plastic card, big enough to fit on over that little divot in the guns, and then I glued that right over the hole to give the magnet something to click onto. You could use plastic glue or super glue for this. I used super glue just so that I could do it quick. I then did the same to the heavy bolter. Make sure you remember where that hole was so that you can place the magnet just about where it was. Make sure you match them up on the other sides too. I suggest doing both of the guns at the same time so that there's less chance of having one magnet farther back than the other. I then put a small dab of super glue. You have to use super glue to attach the magnet, and then drop the magnet in place. And then did the same to the heavy bolter. You may want to add a little bit of extra super glue after it seems to be glued on, just to give it a little added strength. And then you have a magnetized side sponson. This will give it the full range of motion, which will be good for just in-game, just so that you could have everything correct. And it gives you both weapon options, which is very good because the Predator tank is an expensive model, and it's very good to have all of the weapon options you can.